Thanks for tuning in today to hear about the Big Sky School District bond issue, which is the only thing that the district has on the ballot for 2020. As we look at the bond issue, the biggest question that the trustees had and the biggest question that we all had was, where did this come from and why? So why? Why now? Why is Big Sky School District in this particular position to run a bond issue in 2020? It's really about student growth and student opportunity and student engagement. At the end of the day, it's really about students, but really is where we want to start is here. We want to start with our enrollment trends. As this graph indicates, through fiscal year 20, that's right here, we're currently at 384 K-12 students. Next year, we're anticipating 394. So as we look at the growth over the course of the next 10 years, 12 years, a moderate growth, 2.5%, which is about what we've been averaging, a little bit higher than that in some years, a little bit lower than that in some years. But a conservative growth model at 2.5% takes us up to 530 students, just in a little over a decade from now. And the more aggressive model, takes us up nearly 700 students in 2032. Again, that's just 12 short years from now. And as a comparison, we've almost doubled our numbers in 7 years. So in the year 2014, right, that our high school was 4 years old at that time. We had 200 K-12 students. Today we're sitting at just south of 400 K-12 students. So really the time is really now to make this, to expand the campus. So the process that the board engaged in to come up with the current master facility plan is, really we had a representative group of constituents. The committee, they provided a recommendation to the school board regarding future facility needs and opportunities for Big Sky schools. Now that representative group, it had parents, it had non-parents, it had administrators, it had teachers, it had classified staff. And really that process was to, how do we want to grow strategically and thoughtfully into the future? Those are two key words, strategically and thoughtfully. The last thing that anybody wants to do in the current education environment is be reactive. This particular school district is very proactive, and that's exactly why the time was now for a master facility plan and then to hope for the opportunity to execute on that plan. So really, strategically and thoughtfully, right, the committee looked at all these things. What are the community values? What does the community want to see? Curriculum and program needs. What kind of things are we not doing in the school that we really should be doing in the school? Student growth and development. What ways can we better serve the population of students that we have? District operations. How can the campus be more fluid? How can the operations be more safe? All those things that go into having a school. And lastly, athletics and extracurricular activities. Our extracurricular and athletic activities are growing exponentially. So really, the committee came out with 5 very clear goals. The first being, create and increase program opportunities for science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and, technical education. So the goal, this is a holdover from the original strategic plan, or our last strategic plan, which was done in 2015. We're the only Class C school, high school in the state of Montana. So really, we're probably the only high school in the state of Montana that doesn't have a dedicated area where we can do wood shop, metal shop, industrial arts, fine art space, have culinary arts as part of the education here. These are real career and technical education areas that is really lacking in our particular school district, and that's due exclusively to facility limitations. We want to provide community access and adult education spaces technology, arts, culinary, and music. We have the opportunity in 21st century learning in a 21st century world to use these spaces as part of the campus expansion to give people in the community real world skills. You know, we could have a local carpenter come in and teach a carpentry class and have, you know, local people participate in that class and walk out with a skill that's going to improve their standing in the community, improve their standing economically, and that can all be done within these facilities by community members for community members. As I said in the last graph, we need to be able to accommodate student growth for 10 plus years. We are seeing an influx of students coming into this school as the nation, as people in the nation, you know, realize that maybe living in a city isn't the best thing for me, it isn't the best thing for my family, and communities like Big Sky are just ripe for massive population growth. We need to be able to meet the space needs to transition to Class B. We currently compete in Class C, and we're moving to Class B in the fall of 2021. This is a good problem to have in the state of Montana. Mostly in the state of Montana, Belgrade's the one exception. We're seeing schools go from B to C, from A to B, from AA to A. Belgrade's the only exception to that, and we're the only exception to that, of moving from a C to a B. Soccer, you know, Class B competition comes with bigger crowds, it comes with more participation, you know, it comes with a need for the facility to make that transition. Soccer, the board approved men's and women's soccer as a varsity sport for Lone Peak High School in the fall of 2020. In that, we're going to be competing at the highest, or the second highest level in the state of Montana, which is Class A. And really, we need to meet the facility standards of similar competing schools across the state of Montana. As I said, and you'll see later, you know, we're the only school that doesn't have CTE facilities, and our athletic facilities are not adequate at this particular time for the needs that the district is facing. You know, one of the big goals of the board through this was to increase community engagement. You know, there's plans for a walking track that's inside and out that could be used nearly all year long. There's better site circulation for student safety and access, as well as community access, and additional access. Our current facility is in use over 18 hours a day. So this is a snapshot of the footprint of what we're proposing for facility expansions. Anything that you see in the different colors is either new or space that has been reclaimed through the expansion of the facility. This is the CTE wing, this is an athletics wing, and these classrooms we can get back and repurpose those areas. This particular area, as I said, would have some operations, but really this is the marquee of the expansion. This is the CTE facility and STEAM facility. So this is a place where we can have really thoughtful conversations around design, and kids can truly prototype something. Kids can walk out of this facility after a 9th through 12th grade experience and go down the road and get a job on one of the construction sites, or go down into Bozeman and get a job with a tech startup. Just as a regional comparison, these are the schools, 3 of the schools that are going to be in our Class B conference. We currently offer design technology, and really we have a pretty robust design technology teacher, and we have an okay program. Problem is, kids can design all they want. There's no way for them to build anything. Again, exclusively because of facility. So we just see, you know, Three Forks, a school that's less than 70 miles from here, offering almost every single program available in the CTE world. Deer Lodge, nearly every CTE program. Manhattan, 4 CTE programs, culinary arts, design tech, you know, and other CTE offerings. The adult and community education opportunities would look something like this. You know, open spaces for people to be able to collaborate around creativity, collaborate around design, and collaborate around execution on that design. And again, in addition, you know, the board is very excited about being able to truly offer adult and community education, which again are opportunities for people, not just our students, but anybody in the community to learn new skills that are going to impact their lives and frankly impact the economy here in Big Sky. This is the floor plan for an athletic facility. The great thing about athletic facilities are they're really no nonsense. And that's exactly how this has been conceptualized. It's very no nonsense. Get people in, have them watch the games, and get them out. But what a great facility for our community to be able to use as well. And so as we think about the athletic facilities, you know, with the transition to Class B, this is our school, and when we played West Yellowstone, our capacity is 365 students. This was in January of this year. This is Manhattan Christian Gym. Now, while Manhattan Christian is a Class C school, they play on almost exclusively Class B schedule, besides conference games. Their gym sits 1,500 people. They have this same setup on two sides of a gym. So we're at 365, a school in our district, a Class C school even, in our district, less than 50 miles from here, a capacity of 1,500. And again, as a comparison, you know, these are going to be the teams that we're going to be playing. These are in our district, and then we'll be in our Class B division. Townsend, 200 students, 1,100 person capacity in their gym. Whitehall, 800 gym capacity, 135 students. You know, next year they're barely bigger than we are. Red Lodge, 190 students, 2,000 capacity in their gym. Again, a very similar community. Big Timber, 160 students, 950 people in the gym. Three Forks, 200 students, gym capacity of 1,200. Now we know that Class B schools, these schools average 200 to 300 fans going on the road to watch their teams play. If we put that in some kind of perspective, if we're playing Townsend and they bring 300 fans, we don't have any room for our fans. And we know this because we've been to the games and then we've talked to the athletic directors and we've talked to the coaches. You know, this also would give us the opportunity to host tournaments, which would be good for the economy and also is a good thing to do for our school and community. You know, as I mentioned earlier, the board really, a key tenet of this project is to expand the community use of our facilities. You know, I'm not sure that a lot of people are aware, but our current facility is in use every single night of the week. We have community basketball, we have our own kids basketball, we have youth soccer, we have adult soccer, we have Big Sky baseball, we have pickleball, we have volleyball, we have you know, dodgeball. We have resort workers who would use the gym every single night if we would let them. You know, we have pickleballers who are always asking for more time in the gym, and we're swamped. So this is a conceptual design of the entire campus. You know, one of the big things too was the board really wanted to address this idea of safety in our parking lot. Our parking lot can become very treacherous, not just for students, but for parents, for anybody entering our parking lot during the busy times of the day. So, you know, expanded extracurricular activities. Again, men's and women's soccer has been added as a fall sport in 2020. We anticipate being able to field 2 varsity teams in our first year, and this is going to be a big deal. Problematically, we don't have a space in Big Sky to host a real varsity match. We're going to be playing the games next year at the community park, and by expanding the community park and playing a little bit on grass, a little bit on dirt, we will be able to play a regulation game. but we're not able to host this on our campus. Our kids cannot play this sport on our campus. And we know from other ski communities with synthetic turfs, it really extends the season for all field and track sports. What does all this mean? What is all this going to cost? The real question. The bond issue and total cost for the campus expansion is $23.5 million. What does that mean for me as a homeowner? So we can see here, all of our taxes in Montana, or all of our taxes that are going to go to support the school at a local level, are based on your property tax. And it's based on your taxable home value. So at $2 million, this $23.5 million, if you have a $2 million house, it's going to cost you $1,300 a year, $110 a month. So it's a factor of, for every $100,000, it's 56 bucks, I think it is. But you can see, so this is the tax impact. The good news is, if we look at the big picture of the school's footprint and the taxes in this school district, we're approaching an all-time low. So let's say, 2020, the bond passes. Obviously, there's going to be a spike. When you take $23 million onto the tax roll, there's going to be a spike in taxes. However, we know we have probably the fastest growing or the second fastest growing tax base in the state of Montana, and we have a lot of debt that's going to be retiring over the course of the next 10 years. So in 3 years, we're really almost back to where we were last year. The election timeline, April 15th, absentee ballots are available at the Gallatin County Courthouse. April 17th, ballots are going to be mailed to voters. That's a Friday, I believe. We expect they're going to land in your mailboxes on Monday. They're due May 4th. That's the last day to register to vote in the school district election. And May 5th, that's the day the ballots are due back to Gallatin County by 8 p.m.